The ultrasound photo slipped from my trembling hands, landing face up on the kitchen floor like a grenade pin pulled, the grainy black and white image screaming the truth. My wife, Lisa, pregnant with a child that couldn't be mine. I'd been sterile since a childhood accident, something we'd grieved together years ago. But there it was, the fetal heartbeat timestamp just weeks after my brother Jake had crashed back into our lives. Fury erupted in my chest, a volcanic rage that blurred my vision, mixing with the gut-wrenching humiliation of betrayal by the two people who'd sworn to love me most. I staggered back against the counter, the cold granite biting into my palms, as the room spun with the scent of her lavender lotion still lingering from morning. How long? How many lies? The shock jolted me into a primal scream that echoed off the tiled walls, but inside, heartbreak clawed deeper. This wasn't just infidelity. It was my own blood, my tormentor since boyhood, stealing my future. I paced the empty house that night, the wooden floors creaking under my weight like brittle bones, each step fueling the resentment that had simmered for decades. Jake had always been the golden child, taller, stronger, the one who turned our parents' heads with his charm while I, the quiet bookworm, faded into shadows. He'd made my life hell, stealing my toys as kids, spreading rumors in high school that I was weird, even sabotaging my first job interview out of college with a fake reference call. Just toughening you up, little bro. He'd laugh, his eyes gleaming with that sadistic spark. I'd forgiven it all, or tried to, for family's sake. But now, obsession took root as I rifled through Lisa's drawer, finding hidden texts on an old phone. Can't wait to feel you again, from Jake. Denial whispered lies. Maybe it's a mistake, a hack, but evidence mounted like storm clouds. Heartbreak layered over anger. Lisa, my anchor for 8 years, the woman who'd held me through infertility diagnoses, now carrying his seed. The next morning, sunlight pierced the blinds like accusatory fingers, casting striped shadows on our bed where she still slept, oblivious. I watched her, chest rising softly, and doubt flooded in. Was I the fool for trusting? Inner thoughts raced brutally honest. Fantasies of confrontation, of smashing Jake's smug face, but fear held me back. What if she left? What if I lost everything? I slipped out quietly, driving to the old family cabin by the lake, tires humming over rain-slicked roads that mirrored my slippery resolve. The air was thick with pine and damp earth, the water lapping at the dock like suppressed sobs. There, alone with whiskey burning my throat, guilt flickered. Had I been distant, buried in my accounting job, ignoring her needs? Well, this was their choice, their betrayal. Resentment hardened into cold calculation, subtle hints of vengeance emerging as I plotted anonymously. Dig into Jake's life, find his weaknesses. Lisa confronted me that evening, her eyes wide with feigned innocence as we sat at the dinner table, the clink of forks on plates amplifying the tension. Tom, you've been distant. What's wrong? Her voice was soft, manipulative, revealing hidden motives in the way her hand trembled slightly. I forced a smile, suppressing the rage bubbling like acid. Work stress. How about you? Feeling okay? Subtle probe, heightening suspense. She shifted, hand instinctively to her belly. Fine, she murmured, but her gaze darted away, foreshadowing the storm. We ate in silence, the steak tough and flavorless, mirroring my hardening heart. That night as she slept, I hacked her email. Easy, since she used our wedding date as password. More messages. Jake planning to take care of her if I found out. Obsession deepened. I barely slept, mind weaving plans, expose him at work, ruin his reputation. But moral conflict gnawed. He was blood. Destroying him meant destroying part of me. Weeks dragged, slow burn suspense building through quiet moments. Jake visited unannounced. His pickup truck rumbling into our driveway like an invasion. Hey bro. Just checking in. His grin was wolfish, eyes lingering on Lisa too long. We barbecued in the backyard, smoke curling into the twilight sky heavy with unshed rain. Dialogue revealed secrets. Marriage treating you well? He asked, clapping my shoulder hard enough to bruise. Couldn't be better, I replied, voice laced with suppressed rage. Lisa laughed nervously, her hand on his arm a second too long, subtle hint, tension rising. Inside, fantasies of justice swirled. Poison his beer. Too far. Instead, I observed strategic. Noticed his slurred words, the whiskey flask in his glove box. He was spiraling, debts from bad investments I'd overheard. Layered character emerged. Jake wasn't pure evil. Jealousy drove him, resenting my easy life while he chased highs. One rainy afternoon, Lisa confessed partially. Tears streaming as we huddled on the couch, thunder rumbling outside like my inner turmoil. "Tom, I'm pregnant." Her voice cracked, but omission screamed louder. Joy feigned, heartbreak real. "That's impossible." Doubt plagued me. "Tell her I knew." "No, play the long game." "It's a miracle," she whispered, hugging me while guilt twisted her features. Moral complexity hit. She loved me once, perhaps still did, but loneliness pushed her to him. My resolve cooled, planning in quiet. Hire a PI, gather dirt on Jake's affairs, his shady deals. As months passed, her belly swelled, obsession consuming me. I attended ultrasounds, hand on the machine's cold gel, feeling the disconnect like a chasm. Inner journey brutal. Denial faded, resentment peaked at family dinners where Jake boasted. His eyes mocking. Fear of confrontation warred with cold resolve. I'd wait, let them think they won. The turning point came at Thanksgiving, the house filled with turkey aroma and forced cheer. Parents oblivious, but tension crackled. Jake cornered me in the garage, beer breath hot. "Lisa's glowing. You must be thrilled." Manipulation dripped, he knew. "Over the moon," I said flatly, hinting at knowledge. He paled slightly, foreshadowing his unraveling. That night, alone in the guest room, I finalized plans. Anonymous tips to his boss about embezzlement. Evidence I'd forged from scraps. Morally gray. Yes, but justified. The hospital room reeked of antiseptic and new life. The beeps of monitors syncing with my pounding heart as Lisa pushed, sweat slicked and screaming, birthing the child that sealed our fractures. Jake paced outside, uninvited but insistent. His face a mask of anxiety that fueled my simmering vengeance. As the baby cried, tiny and red-faced, I held him first, staring into eyes that mirrored Jake's, humiliation crashing anew. But beneath, cold resolve peaked. This was the catalyst. No more quiet suffering. The nurse's sympathetic smile couldn't pierce the storm inside. Obsession turned action, planning months culminating here. Discharge day, sunlight filtered through blinds like prison bars, Lisa cooing over little Ethan, named after our grandfather, irony biting. Jake hovered. "Uncle duties," he joked, but his hands shook. Dialogue heightened tension. "He's perfect," he said, voice thick. "Isn't he?" I replied, eyes locking his, suppressed rage electric. He flinched, hidden motives surfacing, guilt, fear. We drove home in silence, the baby's whimpers amplifying inner conflict. Love the child? Hate the betrayal? Doubt assailed, raising another son as mine, noble or foolish. Weeks blurred into sleepless nights, the nursery's soft glow from the nightlight casting shadows like doubts. Lisa's postpartum haze masked her secrets, but I dug deeper. PI reports piling on my desk in the home office, wood scarred from my clenched fists. Jake's life. Multiple affairs, gambling debts, a pending DUI cover-up. Motivations layered. He envied my stability, seduced Lisa to win. Morally complex. He'd lost his job young, spiraled, but choices were his. Suspense built slowly, subtle acts. I accidentally left paternity test info open on my computer. Lisa found it, confronting me tearfully in the kitchen, rain lashing windows. "Tom, please." It was a mistake. Mistake. Rage erupted but controlled. With my brother. Heartbreak raw, her sobs revealing manipulation. He pursued me. I was weak. Weak. I echoed, planning unfolding. "We'll see." She begged forgiveness, but resentment won. I agreed to therapy, feigning reconciliation while escalating. Anonymous email to Jake's lender, tipping off collections. He showed up frantic one evening, pounding the door as wind howled. "Tom, we need to talk." His face gaunt, eyes wild, tension palpable. Inside, by the fire crackling like my nerves, he confessed partially. "The kid might be mine." Suppressed rage in his voice, but fear dominated. "Might." I laughed bitterly, heightening suspense. "Test says is." I'd done it secretly. Confirmation like a dagger. He crumpled, motivations bare. "I was jealous. You had it all." Guilt flickered in him, humanizing the monster. Inner thoughts brutal. Fantasize ending him here? No slower burn. I played empathetic, offering help. Loans I'd never give. Moral conflict peaked. Forging ahead meant crossing lines, but betrayal demanded it. The pivot, Jake's accident. I'd tampered subtly. Slashed tires on a rainy night, knowing his route. Not lethal, but enough. News hit. Crash, hospitalized. Lisa wailed, rushing to him, exposing her lingering ties. At his bedside, machines whirring, bruises blooming like regrets, he whispered, "You did this." Denial feigned. "Paranoid, bro." But eyes met, truth electric. Recovery slow, but my web tightened. Leaked affair to family, parents disowning him. Poetic justice, him isolated as I'd been. Lisa left, taking Ethan, heartbreak final, but resolve unbroken. Custody battle loomed, my evidence of her deceit stacking. Then the twist, a letter from Jake post-suicide attempt. "Ethan's not mine." Test was wrong, switched samples. Shock jolted. My PI confessed, bribed by Jake to fake it, twisting revenge back. Psychological impact crushed. Obsession birthed lies, consequences unforeseen. I destroyed innocence. Guilt consumed, Ethan mine. Retest confirmed. Sterility bypassed. Miracle or fate. In the empty house, echoes of laughter gone, moral gray deepened. Revenge devoured us all, unexpected twist. Jake's deathbed confession. He'd lied to hurt me one last time. Poetic, no tragic. Walking the lake shore, waves crashing like regrets, peace eluded. Betrayal's cycle broken, but at what cost?